Oh, we are ranking the posters, ranking the posters. Everybody loves a poster that's ranked. Welcome to the inaugural Rank the Poster episode for the 2009 Single Sequels edition. That's not unwieldy at all.
No, 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 never.
Well, here we are, back in the land of YouTube.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Yeah, we've been gone for months. And this is what is going to replace our YouTube exclusive content every time we come to the end of a series. We are going to do a video episode, which is specifically us ranking the posters of the movies we've just covered.
Hmm.
We're starting with the 2009 single sequels, which is a great one to start with because it's an eclectic mix of movies, and same goes for the posters.
Agreed. No
Once again,
one
no
could
no
argue.
no commonality between any of these movies, even though they were made in the same year and
I'll
all
tell you
feature
this
dream
though.
horses.
I think I think these posters do one thing, even though they're eclectic. I think each one does kind of capture the movie.
Yeah, I absolutely agree
Yeah,
in tone, quality,
right.
budget,
Hmm.
uh, etc. Yeah, completely. And we're gonna give you some visual aids to take you through the process of us ranking the posters, which is why we've decided to do it as a video episode.
Because we care.
Bec- because we care, and we figure that you'd rather watch us look at the posters than listen to us talking about them. Uh, we'll see whether that's the case.
This episode has two views.
Two two views. What you know what's funny is that no because in addition, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is a special episode just for YouTube subscribers and viewers. But we put all of our episodes up on YouTube. I upload them all, and I use have a slideshow of various YouTube videos we've done before, and some of Mike's fine Photoshop artwork on the movies we've done. And normally the thumbnail for each of the uploads is whatever great Photoshop artwork Mike has done for the movie. But I accidentally
Why,
put
thank
up
you.
for Into the Blue 2, The Reef, I accidentally put up the real poster, which until I remember to change it is still going to be up there. So, and that I think did have like two views, and that's bearing in mind that it looked like it was the movie, and it has still only got two views. Because normally what I figure happens is people see your and my faces on the faces of bodies that people in the movie and go, okay, it's not the movie. I will
Yeah,
not watch
right.
it.
So I
And
can skip it.
but if ever it looks too much like the real poster, as it did with your incredible Rambo poster that you did,
Mm,
we can get up to 7,000,
yes,
seventy-five
right.
thousand views of people who think they're going to get a chance to see Rambo for free. And yet there are still no takers with Into the Blue 2. And there's no, if I if I knew that movie was out there, having seen it once, and I could watch it again for free, I absolutely would. But I guess that message is not yet out there yet. It's a self-perpetuating cycle in which no one
Well,
ever sees Into the Blue 2 ever.
I'll say this too because somebody I actually got a reach out from a friend who said where can I watch this movie? I
Oh, great.
I can't seem to find it, and I think I truncated. I think I just said Max. That you had asked me where did you see it because you were
It's
curious about the MGM logo, and
Yeah.
I said Max, but what I meant Cinemax. It was on
Yes.
Cinemax. Yeah,
Is it still there?
I think it's still there. Yeah,
Okay, I watched it through
Hulu.
Hulu's version of Cinemax.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't even notice until a few days ago that when I created that poster, I clearly chose a German poster. It's like,
but it couldn't have been more fitting, right?
right.
Given especially what we were talking about in the last episode, that it was a theatrical release in Europe.
Yeah, right.
So that was the theatrical poster that you were pulling.
I'll say this too, that poster was specifically difficult to make because although I did not notice the German titling, I did notice the big whatever the system is
Yeah.
in Germany for the rating. There was
Uh-huh.
like a big box in the bottom left hand corner for the movie, and I wanted to get rid of that, so I cut out a section of another poster that didn't have that and enlarged it. And if you look closely, like laid it on top of it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't match perfectly if you're really looking for it, but it's a little blurrier because I'm enlarging it.
Yeah.
It was some work to get that done.
Do you remember what the German rating system was?
No.
Is it like the various different kinds of submarines? Like a Das Boot is an X, and then the closer you get to the surface, the more universal
It's
the
okay.
cruise ship. Yeah.
It's either deeply not okay,
Yeah.
or you can swim in it.
It depends how worried Euron Brocknuff is in the picture. Well, anyway, let's get
It
to
should be
it.
it should be levels of uncomfortableness based on Merkel being manhandled by George W. Bush.
Ooh. Was she manhandled by Bush too?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen that?
Well, I know Trump. Well, I don't know if she let Trump get even get close enough.
Yeah,
But
I think it's
really,
George W. Bush kind of coming behind her and doing one of these and her
oof.
like I don't care for that.
And she tried to choke him with a
Wriggle out of it.
pretzel.
Yeah.
She just threw a pretzel in his mouth to try and kill him. Pretzels and shoes coming at him from all angles.
From everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. All right, let's get to it. Let me
Please.
pull these posters up using iMovie Magic, which you will not see. So here we go.
Halloween 2. It really does capture like
So let's do your idea, which I think is a great one, is that we start at the bottom for the posters always.
Mhm.
Start at the bottom of the barrel. So let's just do a quick slideshow
Yeah.
of all the posters and have a few seconds on each of them. So this is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Believe this is the video poster, but it's what we selected to Photoshop. So that's what we're gonna rate. And here we have the poster for the Pink Panther 2, which we'll be commenting on in a moment. And then this is Crank High Voltage,
Yeah,
featuring the tagline.
they dropped the 2 for this poster.
They certainly did, which answers some of our questions. Also, that it was an April 17th release, which is also itself fascinating. And of course, it sports the headline, "He was dead, but he
But
got
he got
better."
better. I just noticed that. It's great.
And then the aforementioned Into the Blue 2. This is the somehow I
Unrated.
found this is the English version of
Yes,
this.
congratulations.
Yeah, but
I
it's
can't
still it's still did we watch the unrated version? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, the rated version, it would be an R, no, wouldn't it? For with all
See,
the
now that looks
tits.
pretty good. Sometimes, because the quality of the
Yeah,
quality of the German picture must have been better when I was like blowing it up and
yeah.
situating it within Photoshop.
And just to
But this looks
reiterate, that
good.
is this is not after Mike's has photoshopped it. He's not yet quite that good at photoshopping. These are the faces of the real actors.
Correct.
Just to clarify, we got the same jaw lines, but everything else is different. And then finally, Shay Part 2,
Yeah.
which is a kind of mid-battle image almost,
Right.
which I don't know. We'll talk about it, but
With the iconic look.
with the iconic look that screams, "Put this on a t-shirt."
Mm-hmm.
So that's our those are our 5 posters. Where are we gonna start?
At the bottom of the list, I suppose. I
Let's
mean,
start at the
do you want to do initial impressions, or I mean, we've kind of talked already about how these posters really do seem to capture the films in certain ways.
and how different they are from each other.
Yeah, right.
Well, what's at the bottom of your list?
It's tough. I'll tell you this. The
Okay,
bottom of my list currently is between Halloween 2 and the Pink Panther 2.
I'm just gonna click between them until you make a decision.
Well, are either of them in contention for the bottom of your list?
Yeah, one of these is my bottom. Yes.
I really don't like this Halloween 2 poster. Will you stay on that for a moment?
Yes.
I'll tell
It.
you.
Yeah. Go on. Tell me about that.
Well, for one, the H and the 2,
Hmm. Hey.
because
Yes.
we're getting too close to H2O, which for some reason seems to work for that particular movie
Yeah.
better, but also seems tragically flawed in a choice to title your movie.
Sure. This is very much H2 no.
Yeah, exactly. that's that's the other part of it, is that if we're not 20 years later, uh Halloween H2O is essentially Halloween 20, none of which
Yeah.
makes sense. And the very idea that they were going to call that David Gordon Green, that first movie, Halloween H40
Mm,
at one point, but I
right.
digress. uh
Digress away. I mean, we're doing a video episode about posters.
right.
We're already in the middle of a digression.
um Family is forever.
Well, but and again, there's are they trying to go for a like family photo album
Yeah, that's the
style
thing
here?
is,
And if so, why
do they
so?
do they believe that they have picked all the most interesting moments from this movie?
Right. And all I mean
And it's, if
the
you're looking closely, like, if you're walking past the movie theater and this poster was up, at some point you look closer and say, is that fucking Margot Kidder?
right, and the picture there is clearly one that was taken
On
behind the
set.
scenes
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the actress going, can I get a picture with you?
um
And then it shows it to everyone going, look, I met Lois Lane.
if you look, if you're glancing at it, the bottom left, you might think, is she sitting on a toilet?
Yes, but
There's
she is,
lots to
right?
not like in this photo.
There's lots to not like in this photo. The most of it's in the 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
You can
clown
see
and
you can see at the top of the 2 the auteur work that Zombie thinks he's doing.
yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah, the ghost mother, and then I don't know who is that next to Margot Kidder, um, and Laurie. I mean, it looks like Herman Munster,
It
but
does. My guess was that it
Annie.
was young Michael with a mask on.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Yes, because that he's holding the clown mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I
But it
see.
also
And
looks like at the bottom of the 2 that there's an astronaut in there. Who's that?
it's someone looking through a doorknob, um, like a peephole
All right.
that is wide enough to put a face in. Is that when she's in the insane asylum? Maybe at the end.
Oh, so you just gave away the ending as well. I can't help but
I don't
notice
know if you've
that,
come this far, you've either seen it or you don't want to see it. I think.
yeah, you can't help but notice that he gets his wife in there prominently, probably more prominently than anybody other than the colored Michael Myers.
There also appears to be a Klingon on the left side, right underneath the screaming face of Laurie, which I assume is Michael in one of his many looks.
Yeah.
But it looks like Chancellor Goron from
Yes.
Deep Space Nine. And then it's really funny because I assumed that the kind of wonky head of Loomis was a result of your photoshopping. But he's just got a wonky head. There's nothing you
No,
can do with
yeah.
that.
Like
It looks like his head is spinning around 360.
when I did put your head on there, I thought that looks weird. But then
It's
I
not
went
your
to the
fault.
original and said, well, that looks weird.
Is
So,
it possible that all of Malcolm McDowell's performance is photoshopped?
so yeah, I'm going to say that this is the worst of all these posters.
Okay. I'm going to say this is the worst of all these posters. The Pink Panther 2. And
Okay.
I think it's just it's interesting because I think you use the cover of the VHS or DVD.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, okay, I'm going to look at what the theatrical poster is. And it's the same. And then I realized the cheapness is baked in. It's got nothing to do with being reappropriated for the
Mhm.
commercial home release. It just again, and that is why it really sums up the movie to me, is that it feels cheaper than it should be, especially given how much money actually went into this movie.
Mhm.
Um, it's got that Paw Patrol
It's
aesthetic,
not as bad as Paw Patrol.
but the use of the use of color and the bad CGI and the sort of like the heightened acting, it all sort of. I mean, this
Right.
poster captures it up. I mean, I don't
Yes,
know.
that
Are
that's
we
true.
are we ranking how well the poster captures the movie, or are we ranking
No,
how
just how
much we
good the
like the
poster
poster?
is. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
this poster to me has some symmetry within it. So that's why it's above H2O for me.
But it's just the illusion of symmetry because John Cleese
Oh,
idea.
yeah, I think it's very possible that all these people were not in the same
No,
room at the
definitely
same time
not.
to take these photos. I get that. But
Um,
it still has a created look of symmetry that is pleasing to the eye in the way where like H2O is total chaos and it hurts my eyes.
yeah, it's almost a foreshadow of AI image
Mhm.
generation. It feels like if you put Pink Panther 2 2009 into an AI generator, it would pretty much come up with this.
But I kind of, I'm okay with the paw print. Obviously, the letters being in pink is fine. I don't know why you'd put one of your actors in pink on top of that, like a whole pink dress.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
And also, isn't that essentially saying she's the bad guy?
Right. Yeah.
Is this the truth is in the last place you look, a usual
Yeah.
suspects poster situation? Because the last person you see is Kevin Spacey, who, um, actually, the truth is in the last place you look also applies to Kevin Spacey these days, I guess. Yeah, it's just so this is my least favorite, and it doesn't even have the dignity to have an actual Pink Panther, just having that silhouette there
Right.
as a kind of afterthought.
Reminding
I
you that it's
yeah,
number two.
reminding you that it's number two. Well, I thought he was sort of doing a misplaced bunny ear as well, which suggests that they didn't know how quite how tall John Cleese was. Um,
Mhm.
But anyway, and I just hate the way that John Cleese is leaning because it's just too much.
He went too far with the joke.
It's really funny because we talked on the episode of the Pink Panther 2 about, when would you have wanted to get Cleese and Martin, and I rewatched an episode of Cheers, which was in the fifth season, which would have been about what, like 85, something like that, like in the middle of the
Mhm.
80s. And John Cleese was the guest star, playing a marriage therapist who tells Sam and Diane that they're completely wrong for each other, and
Right,
that they
right.
won't let it go. And he's sublime. Every moment is precision comedy at its best. So we could get that like 85 Cleese, like a wine. It's like a vintage for a wine, isn't it? We could get 85 Cleese and a 79 Martin,
Mm.
and somehow blend them. So this is my least favorite.
All right. What's your next least favorite? Is it H2O or are we going somewhere else?
No, I'll go H2O. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. I think this is, for all the reasons we talked about. Yeah. Uh click so those that reflected my original movie rankings as well, but I've since adjusted the putting Halloween 2 on the bottom. So
Yeah.
at
Right.
least what I said is still true of the posters, if not of the movies themselves. What is your next the penultimate poster?
I think I would go Into the Blue 2 next.
All right.
I
I
do
mean,
kind of
isn't this exactly what you'd expect
Yeah,
from
exactly. I do kind of like its cheap quality and sort of the direct to video quality of it. I think it just sort of captures the movie quite well.
Hmm. It does, and it seems to me that without knowing that they've kind of posed it based on the original poster.
Hmm.
Do you think that's the case? I'm gonna look up the poster for the original while you talk about it.
No, I mean you know, I don't think that one's got the blue hint. I think it was more gold and beachy, but it's Jessica Alba and Paul Walker
Yeah.
looking kind of posed like this, as I recall.
So,
I'll
I
look it
mean,
up too.
no, they are. Um, but interestingly, the kind of split
Oh
in
yeah,
the
it
mid.
is kind of blue. Yeah, that's right.
They're sort of split, but
In a
they're
funnel
both
of
face
water.
on. Yeah, but they're both face onto the camera, as opposed to, which I guess again speaks to the sort of semi-soft porn quality of Into the Blue too, that they want to
Hmm.
get. They want to get this, what, the woman from the back.
Yeah.
Probably Jessica. They asked Jessica Alba to do it, and she said "fuck off." Whereas this guy was like, "Well, it's just like, yeah, I really want people to see that tramp stamp."
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
this would be higher for me, I think, because again, it feels like the movie. It's cheap, but some thought has gone into it.
Yeah, I would rank this one higher if I didn't like the the other well, clearly if I didn't like the other posters more. I mean, we'll
Yeah,
get there when we talk about it, but
because
uh
they've thought about where, what is going to be in blue, what's going to be in black, what's going to be in white.
mhm.
They need to Photoshop Sebastian's hand though, so it doesn't look like Michael Myers kind of burnt.
And
Yeah, it's very veiny. I think
well
that's just the color, the tinting,
that's what happens when you get a buff guy. You get a veiny hand now and
and
again.
a tiny penis from all the steroids, right?
You don't know, maybe it's just diet and exercise, Tom.
Yeah. No, I don't think he doesn't look like a steroid monster to me.
Chris
Um,
Carmack.
sounds like a
Laura
online.
von der Voot.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, and I think one of the reasons it was so hard for you to do is because it already looks like a fake poster.
Mhm.
Um, well, oh yeah, so you've got Halloween 2 and Into the Blue 2. I've got Pink Panther
Oh, I
and
got Halloween 2, Pink Panther 2, Into
oh
the
you
Blue
that
2.
oh okay, okay. So you've done two,
Yeah.
you've done three. I need to do my third, which is about midway through the list. Uh, so we've got. Let me just flick through them. Yeah, I think I might have to go with you and on that. I think
Oh, see, you seem to indicate that you were ranking it higher than the other two, and I thought that was interesting. What was going to be the argument?
this
I
is
think it's funny that I'm play like well, I guess we're both placing this poster right in the middle,
yeah,
and it's such a middle of the road kind of
yeah.
movie.
And it's the middle of my list. I mean, you got it higher than I have at this point after
No.
you change your rankings. Yeah. My second highest is Crank, High Voltage.
Oh, you're talking about the movies. I'm just talking about posters.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that this is right in the middle of my list as well, the
Yeah.
movie itself. So it's I think the poster is as unremarkable as it should be.
Yes.
So so we're into our top two
Uh-huh.
then. Uh yeah, should we do you want to go or do you want to flip and I'll tell you my second.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So this is my second.
Okay.
Um I think I think it's a great image for the movie. Crucially, it doesn't give much away. It's kind of a pretty blank canvas, but you know, it uh, it teases you with what might be happening in it. But I just take points away because it feels like it's trying to sell
Different
the
movie.
movie. Yeah, it's trying to sell the movie on action.
Yeah, which it's not.
Well, it is, but the action isn't to be enjoyed, as we talked about. And this looks
Mhm.
like a movie in which you're going to get some vicarious thrill out of the violence. And it's the opposite of that. So
I
I
mean,
take,
this I think the actual visual image of this poster, I'll just get I'll get right to the point. This is my next one as well.
yeah,
Uh I almost like there was a part of me that wanted to make this the top of my list because I just think the visual imagery is really well placed.
yes, yes.
You know,
The
the mist
title font is great as
the
well, and
title font
the
is great.
graphic design of
The
it
misty
is
mountains in
the
the back,
yeah,
juxtaposed with the violence of a a man with a gun in the foreground. I think all of that's great. But like you, I started like dinging points on it because it doesn't seem to sell the movie we're exactly seeing.
yeah,
Um, I think you probably go into this movie knowing that it's not Rambo First Blood Part 2, but I think this poster is giving you a
yeah.
little bit of that flavor in a way that is
I think
inaccurate.
even before the movie came out, the people who designed the poster are anxious about how are we going to sell this to people,
Right. Yeah.
and they made some kind of mercenary choices uh to
Hmm.
to to make it more commercially viable. But that's the thing, on a graphic design level, the placement of the letters, the font, the colors is on a higher level than all of these other posters, but it's
Exactly. Yeah.
conceptually it's misleading.
That's so yeah, that we're of same the same mind. That's where
Yeah.
I come out. Yeah.
And it, you know, it is it's more artistic and
Right.
aesthetically pleasing than all the others put together.
Yeah.
Um
But one, yeah, Crank High Voltage. I mean, the, the blurriness, even the idea, because this doesn't happen in the movie. I don't think he never has jumper cables, right?
On his tongue, I think he does.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay. I don't remember that, but it really captures everything about that movie.
It does. Yeah,
And it's the blurred part of it. Like I wanted to
yeah.
do this poster, but I knew that I couldn't find a way to, it would have been too hard to put my face and try to keep the blurriness
Yeah.
in it somehow, you know?
It's gonna the visually and verbally the poster says to me it's gonna be a disorienting, tasteless, funny movie, and it is all three of those things.
Yeah. For
So
instance, he's shocking himself, but why does he have to show us his tit too? It's like
that's
he's
what I mean. That's the
starting to
tastelessness of it, right?
take off his clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very S&M this
Yeah.
um and so I think it sort of hits the brief of what this movie is. Uh I guess if you saw it in isolation, you'd be like, what the fuck is this movie about? And then when you
Right.
watch the movie, you have exactly the same thoughts. So you're like, okay, well, at least the poster didn't mislead me. Like
But
Shape
you
Part
also,
2.
yeah, right, right. But you also have the font, you know, you do have He Was Dead, But He Got Better.
Hmm.
The title is Crank High Voltage. He's literally shooting himself with juice. So
Mm.
you do get a bit of an idea of the flavor of the story of what's going on.
But yeah, the story, well, actually, yeah, it captures the story really well. But if you saw it in isolation, you wouldn't necessarily understand what the movie's about until you saw the movie and you go, oh, it's about what the poster said it was about. But that is a strange thing.
In retrospect,
It's a
that poster
strange,
told me everything I needed to
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
And I did not think that was the case.
yeah. So, all right.
You said you wanted to talk about April 17th, though.
Well, I mean, I guess in retrospect, where do you put this movie in the film going calendar? But uh, I assume I don't know. I mean, is it? I don't. Is it a summer movie? I don't know. I mean,
No, I don't. That's why I was curious that you said that because
yeah.
it it I would have to look up where the first Crank got released, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a January, February movie that just found an audience.
Well, you've noticed, I think you talked about this on the How Dare You podcast, mainly about Liam Neeson, but there's always like a January Liam Neeson action movie.
Right.
So I don't know if that's like a dumping ground for, or it's just they figured out that
Or a
action
fertile
movies.
ground for, there's
Yes.
just like a lot of shit out. And if you certainly with those Liam Neeson movies, it was like Taken came out, and all of a sudden we have a 65-year-old action star that people are smitten with, and so they're just going to keep beating that dead horse until people stop coming. And it's the kind, he's making, those are the kind of movies you can't, they're action packed, but you can't put them in July because they're going up against these prestige summer releases. So to me,
Interesting.
it's smarter to put it in a January or February and see if you can, if you can make it for 30 million and try to double that money at least.
I had a dark thought for a moment there that they were trying to capitalize on all the resurrection talk that takes place at Easter. That people will be ready for a movie about resurrection after having seen all those passion plays around Easter time.
Oh,
Do you
that's
want to
great.
take a guess as to where the original as to when the original Crank was released?
Um,
Don't, but without checking, obviously, because I got the note. I got the date right here.
I mean, I want to say it was February or March, but now I feel like it's a fake out and it could have been an end of August. to mid-September kind of movie.
And that is why you're doing this podcast, because it is September 1st, 2006. So your second instinct is right on.
All right.
So that was a summer movie. Uh I mean, there are myriad of factors that affect release dates, but
Yeah, sure.
April seemed to me as good a time as any to release this movie, but I didn't explain why this movie would be released on that at that particular time. Apart from the fact that we everyone's been preconditioned by all the Easter talk to think about resurrection.
Oh,
But
so I mean, we're of similar minds. The front of our lists are the same. The back of the lists were, flip-flopped.
yeah, yeah, I think that's it, and I think your sort of slight affection for Pink Panther 2 speaks to your for the poster speaks to your slight affection for Pink Panther 2.
Maybe.
Um, I think yeah, the and that's interesting because it what really bugs me about Pink Panther 2, both the movie and the poster, is the design elements.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm gonna it represents the worst of the movie to me, the poster. But
How
yeah,
dare you? I
it's the wrong pink as well. I don't know if we can might
think
do
you
like
might be right about that. I might have to give that to you. Seems too dark.
that looks like the Klingon blood in Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country.
That's more purple. I
No,
appreciate the joke, but
or the and this might not be unrelated given that they're both Industrial Light and Magic. The New York uh angst goo underneath the sewers in
yeah,
Ghostbusters 2.
yeah, that seems more akin. Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So bottom of your list, Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of my list, Pink Panther 2. So both of our bottoms are this. Both of our bottom two are this and this. Luckily,
Mm-hmm.
they're put together in the slideshow. So, um, then we both got Into the Blue 2,
Followed by
Shay Part 2,
Che. Yeah, but we
which
both. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it's the most aesthetically pleasing poster out of all of them, but we both knocked it down for
yeah,
specific reasons, mostly about capturing the kind of tone of the films.
yeah. And I think we were both when we went into watching Shay Part 2, we were both ready to take it down if we could.
Yeah, right.
And this poster gives us an opportunity to take down some of the prestige
Right.
because there's nothing this misplaced in the film itself,
Yeah.
tonally. Everything in the movie works um together in a way that the poster doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. And then this is both of our number ones.
How funny is that?
Which
I didn't
is
want to, too. I really wanted to go with Che because
it's a great yeah.
I just like the look of it so much better. But this one, it does capture the film.
It captures the film. It's a great bit of poster design as well, and even
Yeah.
like putting the where it puts the tagline,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not too intrusive. Um, because Shay Part 2 has nothing apart from
Right.
the image, which again technically is better,
Mm-hmm. The
but
image in the title.
yeah, the image and the title, yeah, Crank High Voltage, you've got the stars, you've got the release date, you've got
Mm-hmm.
the credits and the
Tagline.
tagline, and it doesn't look busy. Like it
No,
doesn't
right.
look
Yeah.
over it doesn't look kind of
That's the other thing is that for
oversaturated.
for a poster like this, it looks sparse.
Yeah.
despite not at all being sparse.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good graphic design as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been our first Rank the Poster episode. Um, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment, keep a comment. Let us know which of the posters you prefer. If you've seen other posters as well and want to bring them to our attention, go ahead and do that. I'm sure there are alternates for all of these that we could
Mhm.
look at. And yeah, that's our both of our final words on
On to
2009 single sequel. Well, actually,
well,
no,
the
because we're only
first
half.
half of the 2009
I
single
keep
sequels.
forgetting. I can't possibly believe there's another 5 of these out there.
It seems hard to believe.
So I guess at some point we'll be doing this again. Um,
Wow.
so some of these posters might stay at the top, others might drop to the middle or bottom,
It's true.
and then those at the bottom might go up in relation to the other
Yeah,
posters
a
that.
full year ranking and for both the films themselves and the posters.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um,
Someday.
we'll get there. Or if you're out there and you control the streaming rights for
Help a couple brothers out.
the Bells of Centrinians and S Darko,
The
yeah,
messengers,
send us
right?
a link. You know,
We're propping you up.
yeah, we've given you given you 2 extra viewers for Into the Blue 2, The Reef.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, we've given them quotes that they could put on any re-release of the movie.
Re-release.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem, is that it never would be re-released. But well, there must be like a website or something where they put the good reviews of Into the Blue 2, and there can't be that many of those. So what we've said about it, it's got to count. It's got to be on the high end of what people have said about this
Add
movie.
us to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, absolutely. This this movie is exactly what you would expect it to be.
Absolutely.
It's what was it you said? Not a wasted night in.
It was not a night wasted, I believe.
Not a night wasted. There you go. That's
Yeah.
that's probably one of the nicest things that's been said about the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we're done. So,
Done and done and
um,
done. We'll be back.
yeah, we're gonna be back with a brand new series, sometime soon. As always, we'll keep you suspended in animation. What do we say? Suspended. We'll keep you in suspense. That's the one I'm looking. That's the one I'm looking
Okay.
for. This is why I have Mike do the
I
hosting
thought
duties
I
with this
thought you
show.
were going to the Demolition Man kind of connection there for a second.
Yeah,
Suspended in animation.
well, for some reason they didn't give one of the best movies of the '90s a sequel, so there's nothing we can do with that.
Yeah. It's a tragedy.
It really is. It's like for all the movies that became franchises, the idea that Demolition Man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm saying that I haven't looked into whether there are video sequels for Demolition Man, so
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think we would have heard of them.
Oh, speaking of posters, well, you
Yeah.
know this. I've told you this already, but I met Wesley Snipes,
Oh yeah. Tell us
to
about
those who
this.
are listening, and showed him our poster work for both Blade 2 and Blade Trinity. And we got a kick out of it. He said, there's you and there's me. And then he laughed.
That's
It was a good
wonderful.
time. Yeah.
And I think did I say at the time? Did you double check that he paid the tax on his?
Yes. I
I,
think we riffed for several minutes
yes,
about the lanes of jokes we could go down.
and then some people, in order to like calculate their tip, double the tax. So you don't want a Wesley
which is
Snipes,
incorrect.
which is incorrect, but it does happen. Um, but
Don't
it is a
don't raise
formula.
my blood pressure, sir.
It is a formula that people use. So I hope I don't want to get Wesley Snipes calculation of what
Right.
double the tax is. There'd be a big fat zero, I think. Was
All
he a
right.
good tip? Was he a good tipper? Oh, he wasn't at
He
you weren't at his
wasn't.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But very nice. I mean, he was very kind. They were there a long time, and I don't know, it looked like he was having some kind of business meeting. And yeah, the server said they
Ooh,
were great.
that's I mean, we'll return to Wesley Snipes. He's in a
Hmm.
coming coming to the digit America. See, I'm on video now. I can
Also, U.S. Marshals,
God. US Marshals might be worth doing just so we could do an episode on The Fugitive.
right?
But there's no reboot of The Fugitive.
Yeah, but it's a snakehead. We could do it on the Patreon.
It is a snakehead, and yeah, maybe that might be our final ever episode. I don't know. I think once I sat down and
You
doing a
quit.
dedicated episode of a podcast about The Fugitive, that might be as good as
That's
it
all I
gets for
need.
me. Yeah. Uh, as just in 1993, US Magazine reported that a sequel for Demolition Man was planned
Hmm.
to come out in 1995. In 2006, Stallone was asked about a sequel, and he said, "I'd like to make a sequel to Demolition Man, but I believe that ship has sailed, and maybe there are more challenges waiting on the horizon." And
Hmm.
then, on May 4th, 2020, Stallone said a sequel is in development.
Oh, wow.
That was 4 years ago. Um, so
That sounds right in the, wheelhouse of coming at the tail end of new Rocky, new Rambo.
yeah, I feel like he likes to keep all the balls in the air. Like every comment he makes about any of his series, the soul he just wants to keep it in play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just wants to spin the plate a little, fully aware that 90% of it is not going to happen. But
Hmm.
I mean, I guess after Expendafораbles,
Yeah.
um there's no
People didn't
future
like
for
that.
there really, and that featured Jason Statham.
Yeah. All right, friend. Well, I gotta go. Got things to
You
do.
do, yeah. That's it. Yeah, you've got a hard out. So all that's left to say is gracias por ver nuestro episodio inaugural de clasificación del póster de la edición de secuelas individuales de 2009.
Uh, Matt Damon probably said it a little easier, but
I'm definitely more of an Affleck.
I'll say ditto to what you just said. How about that?
De nada.
All right. Thanks, everyone.